Recovery Mom. Let's talk about calories. Is there an amount of calories that is simply too many? Because some people have come into my DMs or comments or whatever, and they're like, 10,000 calories? That's too many. How did you eat that? I don't believe you. Or nobody should eat 10,000 calories. That's a good one that I get a lot. Nobody should eat 10,000 calories. That's a disorder in and of itself. And so let's talk about it, because I hear you that under normal circumstances, 10,000 calories is a very large amount. And probably a normal human, now by normal, I mean somebody in a normally fed body that hasn't been malnourished, that would be kind of a red flag. What's going on in your life that's, making you reach out and eat 10,000 calories? I mean, unless it's Thanksgiving or you're at the fair, and then it's perfectly acceptable. And I do it all the time in my normally fed body, okay? But when you have an eating disorder, and what a lot of people forget is that those rules are different for humans in malnourished and starved bodies. So a lot of times people hear me talk, or people hear somebody talk about extreme hunger, about calories, about eating all the food, about eating all the candy and the chips and the high fat, high calorie, dense foods that we need to be eating in recovery, that you have to be eating in recovery to recover. And they're like, that's not okay. You're going to get another disorder. You're going to get an illness. You're going to get diabetes. You're going to get heart disease. You're going to get blah, 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 blah. Go on and on and on. Okay, I hear you. Your rules for your normal body don't apply to me, because me having an eating disorder can kill me. Me having anorexia has the highest rate of death than any other mental illness, and we know this. So the need for me to recover trumps any of your worries for high calorie, high, fat foods. It trumps it. Because is my recovery eating for 6 months going to give me heart disease or diabetes? Probably not. Probably not. I'm sure there's a small chance in there. Okay. But me having that small chance of that I'm not going to put that above the need for a human to fully recover from their eating disorder. Because living with an eating disorder and living with a body completely malnourished and starved is a death sentence. You're not really living when you have an eating disorder anyway. You're not even living. And then on top of that, it could kill you, right? In many different ways. Now, when you have an eating disorder, your body, your chemistry is different than a human that's never had an eating disorder. So when you have a normal eating human in your life, and I've heard of some people saying their family members, right, are telling them they shouldn't eat like this, or they should stop eating unhealthy, or they're just going to get binge eating disorder. You have to remember, they're coming at it through the lens of a normal human body that is not in starvation or malnourishment. You have to look at it through the lens of a body that is starved and malnourished. You have to treat those bodies differently than a body that hasn't gone through that. Because we simply have to recover our bodies. And you cannot recover your bodies on salad. You can't. You have to be eating those calories in excess. If you didn't eat 10,000 calories last year from your eating disorder that you should have, you need to eat 30,000 now, 40,000 now extra to make up for that. So you cannot eat like anyone else around you without an eating disorder. So many people try to make that comparison. This person doesn't eat that way. These people don't eat that way, but these people skip. These people are perfectly normal. They don't have a disorder and they eat 3 times a day. Well, guess what they get to? They get to. You don't get to. You're on a different path. You have an eating disorder. You're malnourished and starved and you need to recover. It's different from you. The rules are different for you. You have to come to terms with that. You have to stop looking at it through the lens of how everyone else is looking at it. You have an eating disorder. If you had diabetes and you couldn't eat cake one night, people would understand that. But they have a harder time understanding this, but you have to come to terms with that. You have to eat the high calorie, high dense food to recover. You have to do that. You have to block them out when they tell you you're eating too much or you're eating unhealthy or you're going to get another disease of some sort. Because first you have to recover fully and then you can worry about that. I gotta go. I hope that made sense.